Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to switch gears and kind of do a fun ChatGPT discussion. Switch gears, and it's fun because it's a hoax, but Paul McCartney's alive. But the Paul is dead hoax. I wanted to see what I could learn about this. Who, how did it come about? What did the Beatles think of it? What did the Beatles, did they do anything related to it? And so I thought I'd ask those questions to ChatGPT. And yeah, so forgive me. I'm in my bathrobe, but it's a little cold down here in the basement. I didn't want to heat the whole basement for just me, so I'm putting on a little extra layer of clothing. Okay, so here we go. Buckle up. Welcome to today's talk. Okay, how did the Paul is dead hoax start for the Beatles? This is my question. Was there actually a car crash that Paul was involved in that became the inspiration for the hoax? And the lyrics, he blew his mind out in a car? The Paul is dead hoax, and this is ChatGPT responding. The Paul is dead hoax, one of the most famous conspiracy theories in music history, began in the late 1960s. It suggested that Paul McCartney had died in a car crash in 1966 and was replaced by a look-alike. Here's a breakdown of how it started and the potential connections to the Beatles' lyrics. Okay, origin of the hoax. 3 bullet points to it. Number 1, the car crash rumor. The rumor seems to have been originated from a real event where Paul McCartney reportedly had a moped accident in December 1965. He suffered a chipped tooth and a minor scar on his upper lip, but the injuries were not life-threatening. Some speculate this incident may have been exaggerated and conflated into the narrative of a fatal car crash. I didn't know about the moped. I thought he was actually in a car crash. College prank and media. Number 2. The story gained traction in 1969 when a college student claimed on a Detroit radio station that there were clues in Beatles songs and album covers suggesting that Paul had died. The caller pieced together supposed clues from the Beatles lyrics and imagery, which sparked widespread speculation. Wow. Symbolism, number 3, symbolism and clues. Clues, quote unquote. Fans scoured the Beatles albums and lyrics for hidden messages. Examples included the Abbey Road album cover interpreted as a funeral procession. I'd heard that too. Backmasking in songs like Revolution Number 9, I'm So Tired, purportedly revealing phrases like Paul is dead, if you played it in reverse. Okay, it doesn't say whether that was placed in there or that people just heard that and it was not there. It doesn't say that, but let's see if it does say that later. Lyrics, and then the next bullet point, lyrics such as he blew his mind out in a car. He blew his mind out in a car from a day in the life on Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band album, which some interpreted as referencing Paul's supposed fatal accident. Okay. And then specifically about bold point, he blew his mind out in a car lyric. The line, he blew his mind out in a car from a day in the life, has often been linked to this theory. However, John Lennon, who wrote the lyrics, explained it, was inspired by the tragic death of Tara Brown, a young friend of the Beatles and a Guinness heir. A Guinness. I guess the beer, Guinness heir. Tara died in a car crash in 1966 after driving his car into a parked vehicle at high speed. The lyric reflects the sadness and shock of such an event rather than serving as a veiled reference to Paul. Interesting, I did not know that. Conclusion. There's no credible evidence that Paul McCartney died in 1966 or at any other time. The hoax was fueled by coincidences, imaginative interpretations of Beatle lyrics and artwork, and the playful mystique of the band often cultivated. Paul McCartney himself addressed the rumors humorously, even appearing on the cover of Life magazine in 1969 with the headline, "Paul is still with us." Okay, my follow-up question. Were the Beatles themselves involved in this hoax? As it could be said that it drove up sales and interest in the Beatles. That's my question. Response. The Beatles themselves were not directly involved in initiating the Paul is dead hoax, but they were known for their playful, cryptic style and often encouraged fans to find hidden meanings in their work. This atmosphere of mystery and creativity helped fuel the conspiracy once it emerged, and the band may have leaned into the intrigue once it became widespread, albeit in a tongue-in-cheek manner. Okay. How the Beatles may have indirectly contributed. Number one, experimental artistry. The Beatles, especially during their later years, embraced avant-garde concepts, cryptic lyrics, and album designs that invited interpretation. For example, the backyard masking on songs, backward masking on songs like The Revolution Number 9 and I Am the Walrus. Okay, so it sounds like it's saying that they intentionally put that on there. It's hard to reinterpret that. And surreal album covers such as Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band and Abbey Road. Next bullet point. Fans were already primed to dissect their work for hidden messages, which made the hoax believable to some. Number two, Paul's absence in late 66. Paul took a short hiatus from public appearances after the release of Revolver to spend time with his girlfriend, Jane Asher, and work on new material. This absence coincided with the timeline of the supposed car crash and fueled speculation. Did not know that. Deliberate ambiguity. Number three. The Beatles sometimes enjoyed playing with the media and fans. For instance, in the Magical Mystery Tour film, Lennon sang I Am the Walrus, a nonsensical song that intentionally defied analysis. When the Paul is dead rumors gained traction in 1969, they didn't immediately deny them outright. McCartney later joked about it in an interview, saying, "Rumors of my death have been greatly exaggerated." The commercial impact. The hoax did indeed drive up sales and public interest after the rumors went mainstream in late 1969. Sub-bullets. Beatles albums saw a resurgence in sales as fans revisited them for clues. Next bullet point. Radio stations and magazines discussed the theory extensively, keeping the Beatles in the public spotlight even as they were moving toward breaking up. Okay, where are the Beatles, next bullet point, were the Beatles complicit? There's no evidence that the Beatles themselves orchestrated the hoax. However, bullet point one, they likely enjoyed the publicity and found the situation amusing. Next point, Paul McCartney even appeared on the cover of Life magazine with the cheeky headline, "Paul is still with us," poking fun at the rumors. And the next bullet point, John Lennon and George Harrison both later remarked that they found the hoax entertaining, though they never seriously participated in perpetuating it. Conclusion. While the Beatles did not create the Paul is dead hoax, their experimental style, cryptic artistry, and occasional playfulness likely contributed to its believability. Once the rumors exploded, the band seems to have seen the humor in the situation and didn't mind the additional attention. but there's no indication they deliberately orchestrated it for publicity. There you have it. Now for the rest. That's the rest of the story. Anyway, that's what ChatGPT has to say about the Paul is dead hoax. Hope you find this interesting. I'll leave it at that. Thank you. Bye-bye.